Well, if I'm making this here video, then that means that God is still in the blessing business. And since God is still in the blessing business, then that means business has got to be good. How y'all doing today? Today is Sunday. Boy, it's raining down here. Goodness gracious. Like after the snow, then we're going to have some rain. But God is in control of all, so everything will be all right. Man, we're going to start this message off by watch how many victims come out of the woodwork. You are getting ready to see some of the most powerfulest people that always felt and had you feel that they was in and had so much control just because of somebody that really give a dog about them. But when that magazine or that book or that cup get flipped to the next page or the next chapter, you are getting ready to see some of everybody are getting ready to play the victim. And when I say play the victim, that is a person to who is always playing the victim. With everybody, they try to play everybody all the time. These people are getting ready to say, see, I told you he was victimized, or they was victimizing me. And they are the aggressors. And now, when the table flip over and the person or people had enough and they flip this table, you are getting ready to see a bunch of situations be to the point to I got done like this, and they're gonna want you to have compassion for them and care. And these are the people that don't have any compassion for anybody else because they run their mouth too much and they lie. So I'm so used to people hearing or hear a phrase or something and then repeat it, and next thing you know, they use it. I don't charge for that. Okay, so it's a bunch of positive stuff in my life, or spiritually, or however you want to. You won't grasp it and hold on to it, but you'll do stuff to where you're getting attention of something else. So I see people copying or something like that. I see that as I did a good job of modeling for somebody else to grasp. Now you can say, "Oh, I know your background, and this you think you know my background." I know in order to save certain things or save certain souls or get to do the work that you need to, you got to be dirty and grimy as some of what you trying to help or fix in order and just to stand in a battle box with. So don't sit here and say you know somebody's background, because in order to in order to save a lost soul, you have to be where the lost soul is to even get them. So all these super Christians, I ain't mad at super Christians, because in order to be a little Christian like me, you got to have super Christians around you. And man, if you was to look back in your life and see how many pastors you have that's attached to your bloodline, and if not attached to your bloodline, that's attached to your family, and that'll tell you some of the stuff. But some of the souls or some of the things or some of the people that needs to, as people say, be woke, they not in the church. These the ones that need to, they not just in the church, they also in the church. It's not just in the church. But it's kind of hard to get a homeless person to come to church and they don't have a place to stay. It's hard to get a person that's strung out to come to church and you don't and they don't and they have problems. So instead of always trying to get them to come to church. Sometimes you might need to go where they at. Sometimes you have to venture out and find the battle. But I'm gonna let you say it, because nah, I ain't. I'm gonna say it. Some of you ain't built like that. We built different. We built different. So anyway, on to the message for today is sometimes your seeking can really be a setup by the person you and your sneaky link trying to lie to. You won't pass a you won't pass a test, but it's everywhere, but it's everyone else's fault. Ooh, that boy be writing. You won't pass a test, but it's everyone else's fault. Okay. Sometimes you're sneaking. The sneaking. The sneaking is the lie. This is where the illusion starts. The illusion starts when you start lying to even start sneaking. So the phone calls, the text messages, I say, I'm gonna let you know this. You up here talking about getting burned. Most of my longer lessons have been from putting love in and holding on. But my biggest lessons have been from being on the outside doing damage to the inside of a relationship. It's not gonna be many people say they was a POS in a situation. I could sit here and say that I was a POS in several situations. So, an example, what I'm talking about is outside looking in. It's a couple. She keep winking and keep calling and keep texting. So if she keep calling, keep texting, I'ma jump. I ain't the one in the relationship. But at the same time, it's a problem because I okayed it. But I'm not the one that owes any kind of loyalty in that relationship because I'm not the one in the relationship. And all of these that I'm saying are flipped and can be male or female. All that telling people are you're weak because you do this, well, it's energy. A woman cheating is no better than a man cheating. So, oh, she had a good reason. No, she didn't. She should have chose better. Oh, he did. He got a good reason. No, he don't. Nobody don't have a good reason. So that's a part of the hang up between the male and female conflict is that females are feeling and thinking and having a strange understanding, thinking they have a one up or I should be treated better. But if you're able, which is a choice, to take on male energy, what makes it a difference of why you shouldn't be treated the same as that's your choice? Everything free will. We got to get this to a point to where we all on the same playing field. We got to put it to where we're all on the same playing field. As of the rules of who has favor, that's not your job to say a woman has favor over a man in any relationship. That's God's job. That's not your job as a person. Being, even if you was 3 foot 1 foot, you can have 2 legs, 3 legs, however many. That's God's job to say who has favor in a situation, because everybody's gonna lie. You can't sit here and say, oh, well, he put his hands on her and this. Man, it's so many different things. Good. Oh, does that make him weak? Yeah, it make him weak. But does it make him, but do you have the justification to stone him? The one throw the first stone. Man, y'all, it's Sunday. I'm not really trying to preach, but I'm trying to get you to understand that this what women deserve, or what a man deserves just as much as a woman do, because it's more that's wanted from him. It's more that has to be pulled out of him. Yes, women have children. That's a punishment according to the Bible. I don't know. Anyway, that's another subject. I'll get there. Like I say, all of this stuff that I'm saying can be broken down further than these little old probably at the most it might be 30 minutes I'll give you. I don't want to, I got you spoiled already. You know you're spoiled. Sometimes you, oh yeah. So an example with the sneaking. Oh, I gave you the example with the sneaking. So calling me and all this other stuff, lying to him. But on the flip side of that is I've had to learn a lesson because some of the ones I've held on long term to, they turn into the sneaky link to where they with somebody else and they still coming to get this, trying to milk this. Boy, anyway. So what I'm saying is you're gonna learn the lesson, but just learn the lesson to where you get it. Some things, some lessons are gonna take longer than others. And I'm gonna say some lessons are gonna take longer than others, but that would go into, do you know exactly who you're fighting in spiritual warfare? Do you know what make you weak? Women make me, I like women. Women make, yeah, I like women. I know I like women. But it's to a point to where if you know that and that's the thing that make me weak, it's gonna have to be to a point where I sit down somewhere and learn my lesson of how to love correctly. That's what I'm gonna say. Cause putting all your all into something and you get burnt by that person don't mean you love them correctly. And these things and these measurements come from God. God is the one that sit there and say, if you did the right thing in the relationship, you want to get mad because you say, oh, I love him and this, but you constantly was on the phone with people you call your friends all the time. You sit there and be in your phone all the time. You don't pay this person no attention. Then the person go to somewhere, no matter what the other person is, they sit there and give them a little bit of attention, and then then you mad. But you sit there and say, I don't have to cook, I don't have to have sex with him, I don't have to do this. All this stuff you ain't saying you don't have to do, but that's all the stuff you doing when you away from the house, sneaking in another relationship. Mm. Uh-huh. Yeah. Y'all didn't we in it now, but we in it now. So sometimes your sneaking can really be a setup by the person. An example, this means that the person don't say nothing. They let you just burn. They let you sink yourself. You sank my battleship. They let you sink your own battleship by not saying nothing. And then when it all come out, they dip on you. Boy, that's a cold piece right there. I'm gonna tell you that's a cold piece, and they dip on you. Ooh, Lord, it's hurt. Boy, I'm telling you, they just dip, and you can't say nothing. You can't say nothing. Now, all the ones with all this back and forth, back and forth. If a person go back and forth with, see, if a person go back and forth with you like that, they not about what they talking about. If you believe them that much, that's on you. But if they running, if they going back and forth with you, they not trying to go nowhere. They trying to be right. They trying to argue. They're trying to do all these other things. Leaving and not being with nobody, that ain't what they trying to do. They trying to get some guilt and they face some guilt trip so they can sit there and keep on putting that meat in you. They trying to keep on making you touch your toes. They trying to do you bad. They trying to do something to you. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So they trying to hurt you. So at the same time, you got to start making the correct choice. This can be broken down and spread out. So, oh yeah, I want to say, I'm glad, or I'm not just glad. Oh, Ash knees. They not just glad, but I like to see how much the collective is growing. The collective is growing a bunch. The message is not changing. People are not fishing for messages. If you have a gift or anything like that, you able to run with it now because for so long it's been on repeat. It's been on repeat for so long. It's been on repeat for so long. It's been on repeat for so long, and now it's to a point to where we don't need to hear nobody say how other people taking a message and changing it, and a lot of that stuff right now is getting ready to be to a point. One is being exposed. Two, You know who you are, and God gonna deal with you because He got it all His 144 on the same program now. A lot of people can say was saying something, but they wasn't explaining or saying nothing. So we're gonna just keep on letting it go. I got my little old followers. I like all my little old followers. They ain't tripping. So, and I don't mind you spreading correct word. That's the main thing we get into right now is the truth. Because a lot of people say, "Oh, you don't need to mess with that. They double cross you." Okay, so what exactly do you need to learn from this lesson to where you can move on better in life to where you can apply it? Because most of us, most of us been in relationships, but by the time it's over, it's the same spirit or the same thing that was the problem. And in a lot of examples, the problem was me. But I've grown up a little bit now. I've grown up a little bit now. I can honestly say when I was wrong. Anybody that's still pointing the finger, it is not happening. You have so many examples of where you're wrong, but you still willing to point the finger at everybody else. Moving right along. Ooh, you won and win nothing because there is no value in the bet of yourself or the other person you're sneaking with, never to win. That is making a statement that how that worked out, the person you sneaking with and cheating and all that'll never work out. Ever. Something's gonna happen to where that's not gonna work out. The house win. That's because there's no value in between the value in between them, you and that other person is no value there. Is what they say is you have no skin in the game. You have no skin in the game when it comes to that. You're gonna lose. The house is gonna win. The house will win always, and the devil is your house. You're not even playing on the right team. The sneaking and all that. I'm just pointing it out. And like I said, before you come judging, you need to figure out what's fiction and what's nonfiction. You need to find out what's fiction and nonfiction. Okay, do I need to have another class on? Y'all might want to leave some comments. If y'all could leave the comments, if I go to say about something, you're not understanding what I'm saying, don't not get in the comments and feel like somebody's gonna judge you like, oh my God, they don't know what I'm talking about. They stupid. I'm not that type of person. I'm not that type of person at all. I'll explain it to you. The ones that's hard for me is for ones that keep saying I know all the time and they don't know what they saying. Oh, I know, you don't know. You'll say I know so you don't have to feel some type of way. But I'll explain stuff to you, but you need to figure out what's fiction and nonfiction. Because you'll sit there and most people on this internet, which is an illusion, they just giving us what we having to work with now. At one point in time, we was having to use pigeons, and one point in time they was using Pony Express. Another point in time they was using snail mail. Another point in time they was using dot Morse code. It's a whole bunch of ways, but the whole time thing is it's still an illusion. So, man, you got to watch and make sure the house don't win. Make sure the house don't win. Good gambling is not good unless you get good gambling is not good unless you leave with their money. You got to leave with the house money in order to say you did some good gambling. You did not do good gambling by going in there in the gambling shack with $500 and come out broke. You didn't do good. Now you go in there with $500 and you come out with $750. I don't even call that good gambling, but That was a waste of time. But did you have fun? That's all that matters. So I'm gonna sit here. I guess I'm gonna have to. Oh yeah, this the change up. I didn't start naming them now. This the change up. You got that? This the change up. You got to be able to know the difference between fiction and nonfiction. It's a whole bunch of other stuff I want to say, but if I sit down, okay, I'll share it. I'll share this one with you right now. Straight dream. So in this dream, I usually have a couple cell phones. So in this dream, I was looking for a specific phone. So I couldn't find the phone. Cell phone, regular cell phone. But the cell phone, when I found it in the dream, was exactly where I would usually put it in real life. So what I would sit there and interpret that is not just all the information or knowledge that you're looking for so close to you. It's actually where it would normally be if I was awake. So that means the information would be not just information. I'm using the cell phone as I'm using the cell phone as knowledge and able to call and receive. So if I need some help, I could call somebody. But if somebody needs some help, they can call me or text. So it's exactly where it normally would be. So it's a lot of things going on to where you like sitting here trying to search, like I'm trying to find myself or I'm trying to figure this out. It's exactly where it would normally be. Take a good take a good look at it, what you're trying to look for, but wherever it would be, go to that spot and see if it was there. Might be love, might be work, might be anything, might be a person, but it might be what you're actually looking for. But everything you need to succeed and go further and go forward is already in your house. You just got to look for it. I'll talk to y'all later. Sorry, Nari.